you know, potentially here. If I mean, it's interesting to see, obviously, coming out on this map without the sky, because I think that's really the backbone for ACEND. So we'll have to see actually how they play this one out. It's going to rely a lot on ACEND finding some comfort here. Centers actually, yeah, JD going to go for that early B main control. Bone Cold waiting, but a hit actually comes through into A site. See, they're going to find Rhyme as well, so fairly comfortable start by this round initially.
Yeah, I mean, caught off completely unawares. It looked like Rhyme was so preoccupied with middle that just kind of let go of it. Now, the one bonus for ACEND is they get to look back around, double check. Okay, seen a player on towards short. Let's support the site. Nice work from the Omen there. And again, Existence's value just gets halved. He can't quite make the same sort of presence noted. Let's see where that retake now comes from. Looks like Heaven. That's where they're going to try and next switch that attention towards. Maybe not the ideal way, but it's done well enough for Chihuahua. And now he looks for a bit further, forcing out utility, but he's also kind of receiving a fair flack himself. And I've got to say it, ACEND look absolutely brilliant in this. As NIP now just down to one, and Cold Dementer gonna find Korea pretty easy. So obviously the UI, bit of an issue there. Hopefully that gets resolved. Clearly it was not a 5v5 at the end, and it's not 0-0. So I'm gonna just get my little notepad ready, because I feel like I might have to keep track of this.
No, impressive. Again, to have that kind of presence as well, still over towards B to shut down JD. Again, it doesn't end up mattering because the hit comes in elsewhere, but ACEND we talk about being spread thin in terms of a default for a pistol. That was about as thin as it could be.
Yeah. Do want to highlight as well, for those playing along at home who maybe haven't seen NIP enough, that no duelist thing, trust me, we were surprised when we first saw it too, but it works. They've shown it works. They are the kind of kryptonite to the G2 style. They are incredibly well versed at dealing with what players try and throw at you. This is something that they've proven has worked. So don't be too fussed just yet. You can see this kind of burst piece off the back of potentially contact or a sound cue on towards B, which is the correct gamble at the moment. And this is a gamble play. This is simply put, they might bait in, maybe just let Rhyme face a little, get the attention. Once he dies, they fold in towards site. That's no worries. Mid take comes in. This is all going actually really well towards NIP's plan. This is a perfect setup for them. Exactly. Now that could worry them a little here. They found Rhyme and they've seen utility from that boathouse. I almost wish they'd taken a little bit more of a...
One enemy remaining.
Kind of let them take as much as they can. JD does find one, but that's about it. I mean, as said for me, I almost wish Rhyme, not necessarily fed, that's a weird way to put it, but that Rhyme just instantly kind of played into this, took the fight, dies. They then flood the site with a little bit more confidence, and you hope that you catch them up. Because you're not going to win in a fair 1v1 against a substantially geared out team. So, again, I'd much prefer that approach. But again, that's nitpicking, and that's with hindsight, of course.
ACEND coming through that one relatively clean though, so we'll be able to carry across some of the weapons. There will be 2 Vandals invested. You're looking as if NIP want to get a little bit of early control here. Utility invested. Actually not going to find anybody on the other end of that, and actually it's a rinse and repeat here from ACEND. Coming up towards market.
Yep, Existence there, just kind of jump peeking for info. They already know that they've lost mid control a fair crack. They can't really play back in, but they can hold the extremities. They've drawn out a bit of utility off the back of it too. And you can see the response on the other side of the map is that Rhyme's going to try and take some territory.
Yeah, and he's very deep, so even if he loses out here, you're going to get information early enough. Oh, the time in there, Rhyme was ready to throw the recon, and actually 2 of ACEND creep there. Bone Cold following up on short as well. Rhyme potentially could get pinched here.
He's in trouble.
There's nobody to help from tree.
You might just have to stand and fight. Sitting somewhere in the middle won't get you anywhere, but actually look towards the spike in middle at this point. That could be a problem if Chihuahua found the kill. He doesn't. Starks does better in that situation. Finding Chihuahua keeps that spike safe, and now they can lean back towards B after causing those rotations on that pressure towards A. And that pick towards middle is the gateway. It's the catalyst to this, and Starks is still keeping everything moving the right way for this, leaving just Existence now at the back of the site. Yes, it's 20 seconds, but he's going to have to go big if he wants to save the day. Already doesn't take damage. So do they still check meticulously? Yes. Bone Cold is not going to get caught out by any surprises.
10 seconds left.
A revert back to saving, which again, at this point, really, Got to understand it. Whether or not ACEND go hunting, and for them, you know, this is the bigger win condition to come out of this with 5 alive. Don't expect them to try and close these kills out. Not really too worthwhile. A good start from ACEND, and to be honest, yes, they looked like they were going to revert back to that mid push once again, but didn't get overzealous. A little bit of presence from the defenders shown, and they backed away.
Yeah.
They explored elsewhere. It's almost anticipating that kind of that counterbalance of pressure.
Exactly. It's trying to. So this is something we talk about in other games, is trying to catch the rotations or people trying to fill the gaps, and it's that next layer. And I remember interviews with FPX, for example, when they said someone, with the players coming into the roster, for example, were incredibly good at spotting out those gaps to fill, to find the areas to maybe make that space up. However, the next step to that is, of course, being able to predict it. To find that next stage in it is to be able to kind of capitalize on those rotations, punish them, and then create space, because you've already disrupted them going for that lean towards A after the back of the immense amount of pressure that came down towards Rhyme. It does seem as though there's a little bit of a tech timeout they've said here, so hopefully that's resolved quickly. Again, thank you for your patience. But yeah, as I said, I can't blame them. They showed presence towards B initially, showed up mid. They went, okay, let's lean towards A. They did it. There was no aggression really from Rhyme. He was sitting somewhere in between, so he didn't get the full information. Now, by that time, he's going to call for support because they've already backed away. They've seen enough of information. They try and catch through middle. No, they were well and truly aware of it. They isolate that player. Now, suddenly, leaning back towards B seems almost too easy. It's a really good approach there from the ACEND side. I love that.
Revealing area.
Once again, ACEND actually set up to greet any aggression on the side of NIP. Gonna throw down the one way on top of boxes, and I guess a warning sign. Actually, over towards B, you have this crossfire set up between JD and Chihuahua.
Ooh.
It's just Rhyme actually finds that kill from mid.
Yeah, and you can see that he's got support with Korea here too. Don't get fooled by the guns. They do have rifles to play with as well. The UI's having a moment, all right? But still, that double stack on short was proactive, trying to bring into play the pieces they had to at least try and make a bit of a difference here. So now one being lost is a problem. They did answer with one initially taking down CNED, but now they've taken map control. Are they doubling back down on this? If Existence joins Rhyme on short, oh, it's so sick. The re-aggress. This is a thinking man's game, and I did not expect that from ACEND. But so far, this is a really interesting play. Now, there's 2 players kind of tucked in. Now, the problem is the spikes here. Now, Starkso going down leaves that spike on Catwalk. You can't recover that easily, but they've got to be aware, cognizant of the fact they have no control on site there. Cypher Cam, okay, boys, we've got trouble coming from A.
They come through here, and utility to slow him down, but let's move quick. 15 seconds left on the clock, and the spike is deep. Rhyme will find his 4th. Is he on for the ace? He's going to go for it. Bit of a waste. Coldamented will come out on that one, but let's see, going to find a 2nd here. Both players in mid. Actually, there's a chance. Time allowed, actually, for Coldamented to close that one out, but NIP holds strong. Post their first round. And a good setup. Like you said, I love the re-aggress there with the double stack coming through. Rhyme finds all the kills, but it's just showing they're able to just stack up onto that. Unfortunately, I thought he had that one.
Same. Oh, this is excellent. And this is what I mean by NIP. Some of these small looks, these kind of like pocket little plays that'll come out, like that double stack on short, might be only something they go to when their economy's in a certain place, but it's great to see it. It shows that they've got a really nice idea already of how to deal with it, but the next level of adaptation is this. CNED's gone and lent towards the op here, so that's another look coming out. The double stack towards the B halls, they're going to push up, show presence, make sure that if ACEND want to retake this, you're going to have to use utility to clear it, and we're going to have information across the map. So far, this is a very tit-for-tat sort of game, back and forth, bit of a chess match between these two.
Yeah, he once again going to put the wall down, and again, this just serves as both a deterrent, and actually, if they choose to break it, if they want to find this control for the information, and right away, as soon as the wall breaks, look at it, 3 players from NIP will drift over this way. Up now, and actually send all but Coldamenta stacked up into B main here, and that gives them an opportunity again. Coldamenta can learn.
Stuck at home? Start selling your idle PC power while you sleep. Install NiceHash Miner, and with a simple click of a button, you will join thousands of miners around the world. Your
Solomon can lurk very late on this. He just needs to get in range for the Hunter's Fury. He can be that contingency plan if they need it. That's the NIP. Send one away. One flash.
Oh, Existence tries to double down on that, but gets caught by ACEND leading the way with that op. And now there's still a player at the back of sight yet to be cleared. The ultimate has been popped, but didn't quite find the connection he'd want to. Bone Chord's on the case, and he's been sublime at clearing this out so far. He was the one who pressured the likes of Existence before, and it worked. They're going to have to back away from this. If they want the retake, they're going to have to look for a new approach for now. Because as said, that being cracked open so well by ACEND has just given this round instantly in the hands of ACEND.
Actually, they're back over towards mid. Might actually be hunting down. Well, it looks like they're actually going to hold strong and look for these exits instead. And IOP, second time now they're going to opt to. If they can keep 3 alive, potentially they can drop 2 weapons back into the next. Could be the full round for them. Then now coming out, they already know nobody's going to re-aggress. Oh, Rhyme, actually a uncharacteristic miss from him there. Trade comes through. 4 will survive on ACEND, and only 2 weapons saved for NIP here. 4-1 the scoreline. This is looking good for ACEND so far.
So now for NIP, I've got to say they've got to find an answer. No one's particularly popping off. Rhyme had a good round, but that's not really something you can lean onto every time. They need to find an overall answer, and it feels like they're being outplayed, and the ultimate's already for ACEND. Previously, we raise your edge if you are just tuning in. This is the old lineup. It's just a new look team, new organization. So there hasn't been a solid answer yet from NIP that I feel is something you can repeat every time. Already, though, aggressive action to start with. They're taking this fight on A long as well. ACEND's got to be a little careful. He's slightly isolated, pops down the smoke just to keep himself alive for a second or two, trying to quell that aggression, but the answer's coming in on short as well. NIP are flooding out of this too. You can see them trying to get that presence back, so they cannot fall away from this. A really good IGL call mid-round, but they still have to land the shots. I'm looking at Existence to try and do it. He just spots him on the way across. Almost got held down, but JD's bailed him out.
Keyless will return kill onto Chihuahua, but again, the setup is just so weird right now. Look at Existence. Gets himself into mid-tiles here. JD actually coming back across, trying to get the timing on that wall just in case anybody from ACEND opts to push back into B main. We'll pick up the orb as well, so he gets to revive online. ACEND actually seem very aware of the fact that Existence has slipped himself into that position. JD will get Chihuahua back on his feet. Hunter's Fury actually going to try and... Oh, he actually whiffed on it. The Hunter's Fury was to try and cancel out the revive in mid there, but gets no value whatsoever for it.
This is such disruptive play. I'm loving it. There's this Coldamenta and Bone Cold would have to do something nuts to get back in this. Coldamenta's going to know there's another probably here, but the third, you're probably not going to expect the Omen so close by. He gets it. Yeah, that's pretty good, but the round is going to go NIP's way, and again, let's talk about this one, right? So they got that initial contact towards A long. They were up for the fight on it. They put 2 players towards it, but what caught my eye was that quick response on short.
Last player standing.
Yeah, straight away, they pivot back into mid, anticipating it's going to be a split. And as soon as they don't see that as well, the wall going down in B main, they have big control. All the information is then into NIP's favor. They know exactly what the setup is. Existence, like you said, he caught the timing, well, unfortunately, but caught the information at least of that top mid presence. And right there, he just needs to sit. He just needs to sit and wait. It's going to take ACEND forever to clear all the way through spawn and get back on to find that kill. So I love it. They don't invest in the fight, and that's the important thing, but they find the control elsewhere.
Now, these mid lanes kind of into those B hits have worked exceedingly well for ACEND up until this point. We haven't seen it in a minute or two. I'm liking the adjustment from the Cypher here. I want to see how that affects the hit coming in, but it looks like they're going to lean straight towards the CT side spawn. Already Existence aware of the possibility, flashing out, pouring in utility. He's held back the hit for now. He's committed everything to this, keep in mind. His presence is now dedicated to keeping this one in track. Reyna is still around on this, though. Might take a swing if feeling bold, but it's a pretty brazen peak to do it, especially without pressure going in towards B itself. But again, they've hindered this initial hit that, it looks like ACEND really wants to lean into.
Look at this again, though. One tucked all the way deep into A main and the wall down on shore. Bonko will find kill onto Chihuahua. NIP should know this hit's coming through, but look at it. CNED will find another. Korea holds strong on the site, though.
Yeah, Korea gonna just dip back towards Boathouse, spots out another. That is the spike carrier too, so Starkso is kind of waiting for support, gets it. Reyna's coming over, gonna be held back by the wall if I'm not mistaken. Still buying time. Korea is just trying to create a bit of space for his teammates to come across, sees out one again, goes in on it. That's great work. Taking one for all of that trouble is not bad. Brings it to a manageable scenario for the two players coming back in. Now keep in mind, ACEND probably don't know exactly where these players are, but invest the res to this. They want to make sure this one sticks. ACEND bringing back Coldamenta towards the back of Boathouse. You're right, and Recon as well. This is interesting. JD's going to lead on in. Spots out one, spots out two. He knows there's another, but there's one on site. Killers with the swing finds JD, and now Rhyme left in the 1v2. Killers not allowing any more steps towards site.
The revive comes, just reinforces that setup there. Again, actually, you know, NIP getting ahead of the recon bolt there completely negated its use altogether. JD finds that first, but pulls the heal out, not anticipating the player stacked as close as Killers was on default. Again, ACEND close out convincingly on that round, to be honest. Yes, it came down to a 2v2. The revive comes through, but ACEND looking very, very comfortable now. Actually comfortable in this counter peek in post plants. The mid setup, everything looking good.
5-2. What to say, between Coldamenta, Bone Cold's been a bit of a superstar already in this game. A couple of very integral kills coming out for him quite early on. Coldamenta certainly putting in his value as ever. Now the economy's taken a hit, and I want to see Chihuahua come online. This guy can be a game changer too. We talk about, you know, maybe the role that he's playing doesn't always necessarily call for it, but sometimes he just elevates his own performance beyond the expectation of the agent, which is what I love seeing about someone like Chihuahua. At this point though, the economy's in a bit of a state, a bit of a shambles. So they're going to have to kind of bow away from this onto the sheriffs, bits and pieces. Nothing crazy going on, no stacks towards the back of Boathouse, nothing beyond the norm. But again, for ACEND though, we've got to go through the motions in the most meticulous way.
You indeed is. Yeah, now, actually, yeah, going to find the second on 8. Be a little bit behind the pace on this rotation, but again, was a heavier lean towards B. Chihuahua's still actually over in mid here, so P maybe just going to look for some damage on the way out if possible, but rough. Just a couple of pistols. ACEND could just play distance on this. As I say that, Starzo actually going to get picked up in mid. Was a bit of a lurk. JD going to find another as well. Actually, CNED falls. That brings it to a 3v3.
See, Killers is having a rough time. It doesn't feel like there's much safety here, and you can see that they're desperately trying to make this stick. Coldamenta's getting a glimpse of existence. JD out of nowhere, though, finds it quick, too. That's Coldamenta, and Killer's gone. And now Bone Cold has to live up to that name, tries to sit on it. JD's going to at least get off the defuse, but this might cost him the round. Bone Cold knows that it ain't a full defuse, but he ain't backing away. Nicely done again by Bone Cold.
Made it costly though, and that was, I mean, like I said, they were either going to opt to play exits there, but we decided to go for it, and any chance, again, the cage goes down, and JD anticipating Bone Cold was going to get a little more aggressive there. Does land the tag down to 18 HP on Bone Cold, but holds firm nonetheless. Send 6-2 up now, and look at it, second cycle of ultimates here. Bone Cold, Coldamenta, Keyless, CNED one away. Side of NIP, they have Revive, the Neural Theft from the shadows, but first time actually we're seeing NIP get fully aggressive onto B main here. Once again, the wall goes down, but hits coming in elsewhere. It's just Chihuahua on site here.
And Chihuahua's going to have that terrible situation of, do I try and do damage now? He's forced to fight on Bone Cold. The trade comes out swiftly for CNED. Picking that fight before it can get too bad. 4 players up towards heaven. There is no other pressure coming in. So once that spike's planted, if CNED sits a little passively, he doesn't want to. He wants to get aggressive. Takes 3 with him. Res comes out. NIP trying to get back on their feet. Existence trying to just pour himself in towards the site. Ultimate gets popped, and it is just Coldamenta. He's got to get in there if he wants to deny this now. Existence is on the spike. Already one player leans forward. JD with the excellent play after seeing the ultimate come out. All the other bits and pieces. He pushes and pressures the issue. As already Existence gets the defuse. Once they get the guns.
Back over here on defense again. You know, if you can pick it up for free, why the hell not? It was, actually, no, my mistake. It was Rhyme, right? CNED was running the rifle, so it was actually retrieved their side anyway. But again, the first time we've seen NIP really fully explore either side of the map. I mean, yes, we've seen Rhyme kind of drift out into A main. We've seen JD sort of getting feelers over on B main, but that time around, again, as soon as nobody shows presence, there's usually Bone Cold as part of Ascend's default that's there to greet them or at least contest the wall. Actually, a 5-man stack from Ascend over to B main. Again, keep your eye on the minimap. That aggression elsewhere on the map, they're going to keep pushing on the back of this.
I don't know how much they've seen. They should have seen enough to hit some of these rotations pretty quick because Ascend are in. CNED! The balls on this man. Blind, dives on in, still lands it, finds JD. Bone Cold gonna clear out as he normally does, but loses this time to Chihuahua, and that's a spike with him. Chihuahua puts up a huge stand, back to the wall. Hits the ult, knows what's going on now. Still can potentially find with his fights. Tries to fade away into the smoke. Great play. Existence speeds up the pace, and it's Chihuahua all day long. Huge round from Chihuahua.
Another 4K from Chihuahua deep on B site. Coming somewhat of his trademark. What a fantastic hold from him. Again, the paranoia is perfect, but Bone Cold goes to explore back site on his own. Again, it's, yes, I guess JD playing that more aggressively maybe makes Ascend think that there's not a second stack there. But he's done so well here, and the Rolling Thunder, perfect. And look at that there, finds that one.
Oh.
It's so clean. It's so clean from Chihuahua.
Get out of my way!
Honestly, don't think Bone Cold meant to take the spike there. I don't normally see... Well, I guess he does run with it sometimes. We have seen someone else picking up for a while, but maybe, look, maybe it was just a bit of a misplay to go that deep. He didn't quite commit towards Boathouse, but to be fair, he's been winning a lot of those fights, so I don't blame him. CNED does get caught up here. Korea now gets a favorable fight against Bone Cold, so CNED needs to get it kind of going, but Korea's showing off. That up from above, bringing down Death from further away. Not too many threats yet. And there we go. Safety in numbers.
Ascend kind of throwing everything in at A site there. Again, the equipment lacking, but CNED invests the Blade Storm. And actually, NIP on the brink of bringing this back to a 6-6 half, which, the way this is played out, the big win on their part, to be quite honest with you.
Huge. And the answer came from, it felt like a bit of aggression being thrown in, right? Like there was a little bit of aggression toyed with, committing to taking one of the two extremities on the map, and then kind of playing off the back of it. But also it does help out when you have like someone like Chihuahua start delivering big rounds. JD's come online a little bit. It was a slow start here from NIP.
Look at this, actually, NIP now can go all the way deep in mid. Rhyme finds a fantastic kill. Gria was up with a second onto Cold Mentor.
Unbelievable. They just walked mid. They straight up just walked mid, maybe feeling it has not been kept checked upon, that maybe these heavier leans towards the site have created an opportunity, and they've noted that. NIP just flipping the switch. Bone Cold, though, straight through the smoke. Chihuahua's head rolls. And now we have a little bit of a moment here. Spike to be planted. And a couple more players to get through. CNED does need to get towards the rest, but he is being hunted down by Rhyme, who's going to take his time on this.
Yeah, definitely got the audio cue on that one, so... in position to clean out CNED on main. Keeler's actually takes a big swing onto Heaven. Be greeted by two members. Korea going to TP down onto site here. Try and find some kills. JD and Ryan both swing through. Bone Cold and CNED will fall, and NIP will close out 6-6.
Great recovery. There's no two ways to say it. We've got to be as clear as we can. Ascend looked fantastic initially. Their run of rounds looked like the real deal, and it was. They were playing fantastically, but NIP, it looked like, I think they had one timeout, kept composure, came back in, and the players just woke up. We saw some great aggression being dabbled in. That last round, just, all right, I'm gonna walk mid. The guts to do that, unbelievable. But second half, of course, side switch does come out. CNED and Bone Cold, I'd say, standing out to me, at least, you know, throughout that first half for Ascend, but for NIP, Chihuahua's value, JD coming out on top as well. And that's without bringing in a couple of individual rounds. You know, Kriya on that op was great. I mean, we've had moments across the board here.
Have indeed, but see how Ascend can deal with NIP on defense, because Got that. Actually looks like a very fast hit coming through to B initially. Nobody there to greet them at the front door, so going to give it up. And now, actually, defense kind of getting split here. Enid's got to play his life on site. He's going to find Korea, though. That's a fantastic... He finds a second as well. JD falls.
Everyone was so enamored with the idea of taking down the player towards connector that they just absolutely whiffed this. NIP kind of overcomplicating the round, getting a little too focused towards one, forgetting the other exists and getting punished for this. And now just one left alive. Chihuahua. Oh. You made it. You made it to Bow House, but Spike's a little further away. Oh. He's dead. He's dead and he's gone.
Yeah, all three members of Ascend, as soon as that pressure's shown, yes, I said Larzo and CNED got split there, but CNED managed to stay alive, I guess, inside a cloudburst or something, and then to come out and find 2 kills on top of that. That gives all the time in the world for 3 members of Ascend to flank all the way through mid and pick up a couple of freebies inside B main, which one of them being the spike. Runs all but done at that point. IP throw a couple of sheriffs into this, but they try and keep the pace up here. That's going to try and go for it. He committed to the ult orb and CNED just swings on it.
This is getting a little sketchy, but somewhat controlled. Korea, classic by his side. Slow, wall, everything in his way. Phone call gonna find JD. And now just Rhyme and Korea left alive. Comfortable, clean up here, no problem, even after that initial bit of a threat that came in as obviously Killers got picked up. No worries. Now Ascend, kick off the second half in perfect fashion. They've done exactly as required. CNED, that is an early investment.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because, I mean, this is a pivotal round, right? And we talk about the economy in Valorant. As soon as you go 8-6, especially if you're winning rounds clean, pistol round was clean, second round was clean, they can invest here, right? CNED's 2 off his ultimate, potentially die series 1 away, make a play for an ult orb. However you want to look at it here, I like this. Because actually you win this one out, and you snowball it. I know Lothar talked about this before this map started. He will find that kill. Traded out by JD though. The wall goes down, try and reinforce, but right there, job done. I mean, if Ascend win this round, they can retrieve that operator. I'm fine with it, honestly.
Not too bad yet. Killers' position is fantastic, though. Hard to check this and clear on this. I guess they're really dependent on this wall.
Yeah. I just had to flip back up to the minimap. I was like, oh, surely, you know, Ascend are going to come and stack over towards B with Keyless tucked up here, but...
Uppy over we go. Alright, no worries. This is substantially easier than I'm pretty sure they imagined. They're still trying to clear sight like there's potentially 2-3 players here. Very aware of it, but... Ascend, I liked Killers' position. I think you could have left him there with maybe a player playing in connector just to kind of keep track on it and, you know, utilize the crossfire and having someone to check that. But to completely move away from B is a dangerous game, and now there's a wall as well towards main here. So Ascend have no easy way back through.
Oh, they've got to deal with that. Well, they're going to invest the paranoia into main as well, and that's a big piece of utility given up before the retake even really gets started here. Pretty much got to run this one in gunfights wise. Clock ticking away, Lauren.
Yeah, time is dwindling. Now, they've offered up... Wait, where did these kills just come from? How is it just one? How is it just existence? Oh my god, he's dead. Killers has done it.
Yeah, comfortably.
How the hell did they just pull that off so quickly? That is an insanely close defuse, it felt like at the end, even though it was 3 seconds. But I don't understand how they got the kills that easily. I thought they were in pretty decent, you know, deep positions to dig out from.
I mean, NIP was set up well. There was 2 outside of backside and 2 in each archway, so... I'm not sure how that... I mean, that felt as if there was 3 separate 1v1s taking the crossfire.
Yes.
Just not working out for them.
Where were they?
And I don't think Keyless even threw out a Lear there. So the paranoia getting invested in B main, those were just dry peaks. They literally just swarm through.
I'm left scratching my head, and I'm sure... Did I just see, like, 4 scouts?
You did. You did. They're
Dude,
trying to get rid of the operator,
mine's bigger,
right?
dude. Mine is bigger. You can't come here with your little toy guns. All right, CNED is fine. Buy more of them. This makes my life really easy.
Mine one shot.
So does his,
Oh, so
apparently,
does his,
in the right
yeah.
place. Yeah, okay, no worries. He's got the upgraded
Do
version.
something. Just he hesitated over the rolling thunder and the flash
Yep.
back and forth like twice there.
Last player standing.
Comes down to the last man standing. Rhyme will get cleaned up by Keyless and 10-6 Ascend. And I don't, I was going to say, I don't think it's going to have a massive impact. The fact that they all bought Masters back in here for CNED's just like, yeah, keep peeking me.
This is great. Yeah, like at most he gets tagged. Like he's fine.
I like it though from NIP. It's like, yeah, let's buy 4
It's
Marshals.
creative.
Let's swing CNED. Let's swing the operator.
Look, the thing is with NIP, we've seen very little of them in this form. We saw them obviously against G2 and that always caught our eye, but we also have to give a lot of respect over to this Ascend team. Oh, they've caught him. Killers gets a freebie on towards Existence, backs away. That's a rifle, keep in mind. These were buy rounds. These are not free rounds at all. Now CNED's showing his hand too. They're going to be quaky in their boots. And look at CNED's readjustment here. Okay, has to respect that. Oh, that's a dangerous game. That is a dangerous, dangerous game. No one able to capitalize on that wider swing, but Killers, he's chomping at the bit to get in here.
If they do get the res back up, so IP will be 5 strong once again. They want to double down on their buy round here. Again, with this scoreline.
Killers is
Cannot
pushing
blame
this.
them. Oh.
I didn't expect it, but Chihuahua did.
And actually, Ascend have leant all the way back over towards A. I can see Condimenta now making a move back towards B side spawn, but 2 members of NIP actually ready to sell a bit of a fake onto A as well. They break the wall. It's a 2-2 split, but Z Condimenta hesitating. NIP happy to sit and let this play out for the time being.
This takes patience, though.
30 seconds left.
Being revealed, a false sense of security starting to mount. You can see the lean as well. That's Rhyme moving away towards middle a little bit more. The jump peak comes in, but now they're going to have to start leaning in towards the hit. 20 seconds now. Condimenta waiting. Steps heard. Waits for his moment to strike. Spam comes in. He's not been noted yet. That's perfect. 2 with the back open. He gets 1, but the wall just cuts him off. Leaps in, but now 10 seconds. Eyes on the spike. They've got to get this down fast. And it looks like it should be going down without any threats. No one can deny this. And you can see Ascend desperate to get back in, but NIP in the final throws show such resilience.
Of that, and that's again, Keyless regressing into B main was so interesting there because yes, they popped the res off, but I mean, at that point, it's almost like you've shown presence. There's almost a deterrent to re-aggress into B main now on NIP's side, and Ascend a little overzealous. I'll be honest. Yes, you should anticipate maybe the pivot back to mid or A site, which there was. There was a little bit of a fake coming out from JD and Existence, but yeah, strange to see Killers. But I guess trying to convert the Empress or trying to find something to keep the Empress going. Just strange.
And 7. This is why I love finally getting to Masters, because every team that's got here is solid. I don't think you can say some are more experienced, but it's already proven that some of these players are, you know, the upcomers. They are the ones to keep your eyes on. They're the teams that are certainly setting the trend already. But I'm loving we get to finally see NIP's depth as well. They're being pushed here in new ways. We've seen them against maybe a couple of teams stylistically, but now we get the full picture of what's in front of us. Now, NIP, this time around, initial presence towards B, walking through, kind of splitting towards mid, taking that safer route, maybe respecting the fact that that op could be in play, but they've made good progress up towards mid here.
Haven't. Actually, Ascend playing much deeper on B this time. Right, look at that wall. The wall is so high. JD will find one, but CNED from the top rope will trade that out.
Spike down B.
Coming away. CNED, I thought. Now, these post plants have been a little scary. Some of the positions have been exploited pretty quickly. CNED looking to lead, but it's JD to find him. That's a big scalp to climb. There's the crossfires. We were waiting to see Chihuahua just doubling, tripling down on it. And here's the stabilization. This is a hard fought for game, though.
This indeed is actually Sen going to bounce back down onto fantastic money. I'll leave it at that. Keeler's going to throw a Bucky in the mix, a couple of Sheriffs as well, for good measure. See, NIP clawing back. They're holding the send on 10 rounds for the time being.
Yep.
This time, actually, a heavy lean towards A, and it's wide open right now. See, it's here. We talk about conditioning. Ascend anticipating mid and B split right now. They try and convert these lesser weapons. Quite going to get retrieved, and actually, yeah, look, as soon as this presence is showed, I'm expecting NIP to maybe try and pinch short here. You can see Korea thinking about it, yeah.
It's got one to get all the timing. The timing is perfect. The timing is so perfect. Korea gets to find Bone Cold, trying to support his teammates, trying to maybe help them out, bail them out a little bit. But yeah, now Korea continues forward. Oh, Gilles tucked in towards the corner. He thought he got past Jet just fine, but there still was this Reyna waiting around. Now spike to be planted, wall is in, so no immediate threat, but there's the ultimate popped.
Door will get closed. No value found from the Hunter's Fury, but it does stall time a little bit. Chihuahua re-aggressing towards mid. Who members? Ascend actually out here. Yeah, Keyless and Darzo probably going to try and pinch Chihuahua here.
But Chihuahua can just play time, yeah, and he's substantially better armed for this. Keep in mind, Killer still, I think, had that shotgun. They've made no progress towards the site just yet. This is sketchy times now for Ascend. They're not getting any easy openings. This is going to be something super bursty if they want to work it out. And no, just right facing is not going to work. NIP happy to greet them. And an incredibly good hold.
Initially there, I mean, yes, the kill goes over on Tree, but like I said, that was Korea. He was on the solo pinch up short. As soon as that first kill goes through, NIP are able to just flood all the way through main. Again, I expected that was with Ascend kind of showing, I guess, hinting towards what the setup was, Lauren, outside B main.
Now,
NIP respond fantastically. Again, they don't even look for the fight, right? They pull away at that point. They risk nothing. They go and take a 4v1, 4v2 elsewhere.
Well, we saw this double stack on short work out quite nicely before. I wonder if it has the same sort of effect here. Obviously on the other team, the switcheroo. But for now, they've actually kind of moved away from that, maybe feeling that mid-presence. They have to account for it. No one's got eyes until now. 3 players in CT, or defensive side spawn, however you like to refer to it, but they're having to respond heavily to what NIP are doing. Again, Korea succeeds. Bone Cold is going to be frustrated. This is not a comfy half for him. CNED, quick little turn there, sends him back, but he finds another on the way through. Chihuahua isolated. He tried to work his way in a little bit further ahead, but CNED now, yes, he gives away the position, but he's held them at the door. No one can come through now. This is going to be them hitting the brakes. The flash comes in. They maybe get a better angle. JD's found Killers, and CNED feeling more and more alone here. Pops up the smoke, tries to fade away. Fall to nothing, but still overwhelmed in the end. NIP hit the brakes for a second to merely re-aggress in such form.
Let's see. Oh, I was going to say, might actually catch that one if the door does fall, but finds himself in a 1v4. Does a little bit of damage on the way in. He tucked right behind the tree there. Didn't even get the ping on that one, but to give this up, no doubt. Maybe try and do some damage because NIP are rolling right now. The momentum is all in their favor. Darzo will find Korea. And no real chance to get his hand back in on this retake. Again, the pace shift from NIP. They look so comfortable when they do this. Again, they explore B, what, 4 or 5 rounds in a row?
Yep.
Ascend try and counter that with some aggression on their eco rounds, or even their, you know, the rounds where they're not on a full buy, so to say. NIP are ready to explore elsewhere.
.10-10. And Ascend had, you know, they'd carved out a great lead for themselves, and they've had a couple of moments, you know, the economy, everything at the start was looking great for them. We saw that, you know, CNED was starting to, you know, really enjoy that up, but that's been ripped away, and the scoreline now sitting at 10-10. As you said, that momentum, very favorable right now with NIP, and I want to see what look they go to, because I feel as though they have the momentum within the game, and that kind of mental game as well. And here comes that long take, very quick. This is hyper quick. They're committing off the back of this too, and it's perfect. No one, literally no one is here. This is the exact play that gets them towards getting another round on the board.
It's actually crazy to see this. Like, this is this is the most effective I've seen a team able to condition a team on attack. NIP just literally flipping a switch.
Yeah, I mean, welcome to existence, right? Like, this guy's IGL abilities and just knowing what other players want to do and how teams want to respond is incredible. However, they still have to deal with a retake. It is a post-plant 5v5, now a 4v5, and they're doing some work here. Rhyme's going to put up some numbers, the trades come in, but still JD and Chihuahua, you got to keep your eyes on. And now Chihuahua, around the world we go. Spots them both out. He knows where it is. Tucks himself away in the corner. They're so preoccupied with main. He's not got him off it. Oh, there we go. Perfect timing. Chihuahua knows what's up. But incredible play from Chihuahua. I thought he left it a little too long, but it was just perfect. No danger to be had. And NIP, again, you're right, living rent-free in Ascend's head here.
For a second there, I thought there was a chance. When he didn't get that first tap through, he gets the tag on the spy cam. I guess just anticipated somebody had got off it, but yeah, right here, look.
That was close.
Oh. NIP pull ahead. 11-10 now, completely flipping this.
They
and
got
again, yeah.
They're running it twice in a row. Okay, what's the answer here? We now have Reyna a little closer towards short side. You have players, but then they've hit the brakes. Okay, so they've caused them a massive rotation. Three players are now tucked in towards A. Now, if they lean back, maybe try and catch a rotation, it could work. But it seems that they're all too aware on this. And NIP still have a decent amount of utility. Not everything, of course, but a fair crack.
Yeah, Send initially, I mean, making the right moves. Yes, they sent 2 extra over towards A, but as soon as the hit doesn't come through, they revert back to stronger formation. Actually anticipating the reaggress towards B. The wall goes down over B main. That's important for Starzo to keep control over this side of the map. But this time around, Ascend showing nothing, to be honest, in response to that. And it'll be interesting to see how NRP respond, because usually they would find presence elsewhere.
Cage triggered.
While we're showing presence and backing away, if there are sound cues, these are misreads now. Baiting the sound potentially heard from Bone Cold. Let's see. But now they still have a 5v3, 5v2, I guess, proactively on the site. You've got Reyna and Soba towards Heaven. Done. Kriya's taken down one. They've spotted out the second. They now know the most immediate players. Short will become a problem now, but it doesn't matter. Existence has found Cordamenta almost so easily, and now the retake is super off balance. Great work from Bone Cold, a little ahead of the others, but now spammed out. He's getting kind of kept back. They're going to hear that up and know there's more towards Heaven. 2 to be precise. It's the third man they're going to look out for, but they found nothing. And the ultimate gets popped from Rhyme. Again, time being bought time and time again.
And that's actually all the way deep into Heaven. Actually going to pop the res. Chihuahua will clean all of those up. Headshots with the Vandal. NIP on map point now.
Match point.
And again, I was crediting them there for initially responding to that early utility shown. And actually, Chihuahua, you're absolutely right. He's baiting those footsteps. He throws down the cage to kind of fake out, yeah, we're not coming here. We're going elsewhere. But Bone Cold TP's outside B main. I don't understand why they don't commit to playing retake there. Keeler's challenges from Heaven, and yes, he's in arguably one of the worst spots to get out of, right? Especially as a Reyna.
This is a nice spot.
But right there, I mean, the setup again is flawed. And again, NIP, same thing. Exactly the same utility usage in the first 5 seconds of the round.
And now you're going to expect the aggression, which there is. You're expecting players to try and get ahead of this, but let's see how prepared they are. 2 players close by might try and take a fight. Okay, they've seen enough. They know one's close, but Reyna is still a problem. That's 3 quick kills for Killers. And now the fight comes in. This is all but over. They did not account for Reyna to be right there, right up close. They checked on the Omen on the left, not the Reyna on the right. And now Existence left to walk away. He's got a 1v4 in front of him. And the rest of Ascend are all here now. And hey, to add to that, they get rifles, which is huge considering the money was pretty garbage for Ascend.
Yeah. Yeah, big upgrades. But now, hoping they sit back and they don't go hunting here, because it makes no sense to secure this kill onto existence. There's 0 value in it.
So CNED's the only one
30
actively
seconds left.
watching the main push right now. Wonder if he gets a fight. Okay. CNED wins the fight, no worries. Again, if Existence were to try and cost them rifles, players potentially, not necessarily a bad idea. I quite like it, and I'm pretty sure the economy's okay. On the other side, they should be able to kind of spread the wealth. I think I saw a player on like 7k, but Killers, as said, no one checked on this. By the time they came around to it, he'd already claimed 3.
Yeah.
Enemy remaining.
An interesting thing
Spike down
here,
A.
I mean, more so on Ascend's part, but see if they now set up for this A push, which they're not, because NIP, obviously, now, as soon as, you know, the stops are thrown down and it breaks that kind of early round control, they're able to garner just for this utility usage. But as I say that, actually, it's a 3-man stack towards A for Ascend. NIP actually elsewhere. You can see Chihuahua, he's deep in A main. The other 4 members of NIP, they break the wall on B. Nothing really garnered from this double stack on short.
I want to see if they try and pressure this double stack on short. If you're NIP, that has been a problem. And they've won. They've been winning those fights out. Generally, Bone Cold struggled a little bit when it was that 1v1 consistently with Kriya. So I wonder if they try and kind of aggress towards this notion, or if they simply do a split towards pressuring it. We'll see if they do. They've done a default to begin with. It looks at, like, on the attacking side, kind of spread the wealth, keep players everywhere. I'm looking at what they do about these 2 players. Now, the difference is CNED's here early. He's tucked in towards Wine all the way back. Now, they've not had to deal with this before, and NIP used utility at this breach point, so this actually could be a problem for them going forward. As CNED, again... Okay, apparently Chihuahua just is going to run through him. I mean, this guy makes it look so easy, and now the ultimate gets popped. He gets that online and ready to go. Spots the 2 players on short. Side take is on. It should be fine. Killers, though, trying to make it count through the smoke, which is a dangerous game. Wall goes up. Safety now secured, and Bone Cold under pressure.
We'll go back down. Spike actually has to get replanted. Just use a little bit of utility sent in there, but Ascend backs against the wall now. 11-12 the scoreline. They find themselves at a 4v5 retake, and not an awful lot to work with. The Paranoia going to get invested onto help, but it's going to find nothing for them.
No, an Existence. Look at this man, just holding control towards heaven, and Chihuahua, the one to close it through. 13-11. NIP wake up and put on a show. That was a hard game at the start. There's no other way to put this. Ascend put up great work.